Head up, 7 o'clock. Here we are, Longshore and McKnight. So glad you were with us here today. The live version of the Thursday program. Looks like we're both in our home studios here today. For some reason, I thought Barry was traveling today, but now that I think about it, I think Live Mo's coming into Troy, if I believe.
There you go. There you go. Troy baseball played last night. Sent somebody up to do it because I'm going to be at home this weekend for baseball. Troy opened a 4-game road trip with a win over Georgia. It's got to be a bittersweet morning for Georgia Bulldog fans because they're evidently, and this is just anecdotal stuff, evidently Georgia basketball did something that was helpful, I guess, to the fans.
I don't know. There's no comments on the River Region Straw chat line this morning about it, so I'm not real sure. But
don't get me wrong.
We'll touch on that in about, I don't know, an hour and 20 minutes from now, I would say.
So maybe bittersweet for them because, don't get me wrong, Georgia basketball lost.
Well,
but did they really? And the Georgia baseball team lost yesterday to the Troy Trojans in Athens in 12 innings, 6-5. Georgia had been number 8 in the country, and Troy goes in, beats them. Now they're heading up to Greenville, North Carolina to play in a tournament again at East Carolina. Troy baseball doing pretty well right now. So congratulations
about them. They're going to be a team to look out for this year.
Yep, watch out for the Trojans. They played well yesterday. Georgia's really good as well. Alabama basketball, they won their 7th in a row.
Yeah, that's impressive. 7 in a row.
And they don't need Betty Alcon. I don't care what Travis says. Oh, they'd love to have the rim. They won 7 in a row. They're winning. A lot of people don't like a game like that. Most of them are old and eat tapioca and smell like Vic Sav and take Doan's or Carter's Little Pills or something like that. Because Alabama beat Mississippi State in Tuscaloosa yesterday. It wasn't a sellout or anything, but it was pretty close. But here's what they don't like. Here's what the old folks don't like. John, in that game, and Alabama won it handily. In that game, 40 minutes of basketball, there were 91 three-point shots taken.
Yeah, there was a lot of threes, which I like.
91. There weren't 91 made. There ended up, if you're being specific about it, there were 37 of 91.
I'll take it.
Made.
I'll take that. Over 30%.
Alabama ended up shooting 44% from 3. Mississippi State ended up shooting 36. That guy from Mississippi State who torched Auburn. For, 46 points? Not so much last night. Josh Hubbard was 4 of 13 from the floor, 2 of 6 from 3. I mean, they're jacking up threes all over the place. They're giving up layups in transition on fast breaks to kick it back out for threes and all that. And all those old, I don't like it. Where's the,
I'm surprised. I'm sure they didn't like the 8 o'clock tip off either. That was their bedtime. Sure they didn't like that one bit. Now, Alabama had a lead of 32 points halftime?
Largest lead. Mississippi State never led. Alabama with 15 minutes to go, led by 39.
Yeah, they led by 30 at halftime, 63-33. But, Barry, they were outscored in the second half. State outscored by 5 points. Cutting that 30-point lead to 25.
You mean with 9 minutes of play by Noah Williamson? And 20 minutes from Jaleel Bethea?
Who?
Yeah. That's my point.
White guys get in last night? I
mean, when you're up 25 late, John still still wants to see Travis Stinnett.
Yeah.
John still.
At least take the warm-ups off.
Yeah.
At least let the coach know you're ready to go in.
Yeah, this
30, you're playing state.
This is what you used to call longshore time.
You got to take the warm-ups off or you'll never get in.
Yeah. You got to keep, leaning forward on the end of the bench, looking at the coach.
Oh,
Maybe you take a time. Maybe the team takes a timeout and all the starters, they set the folding chairs out there on the floor. All the starters are out there and all the subs are around them. Basically, the coaches want them there so everybody can't see what play they're diagramming and everything. And when they break and they go back to the bench, Longshore moves up a few seats.
Oh, sure.
Towards
I'm
there
getting as close to the coach as I can get.
And by the time you get to the under,
when we get to the 40-second mark with the end of the game, then he looks down there and goes, "Guy, get in." I'm going, 40 seconds? Are you
40 seconds? How many shots do you expect me to squeeze?
I don't have a lot of time to get 2 fouls and take 3 shots out there. Come on.
It was a game that Bama fans, you're probably forgetting already. It was Mississippi State's not very good. Well, they're terrible. They stink.
Yeah,
and bad. Alabama wins.
Pretty impressive, Barry. They did all this without LeBaron Fallon on the floor, probably their best player.
You know why? Because they could. The guy's been wearing down a little bit. He's been. It's been a long season. They have a lot on his shoulders.
Is that load management?
That maybe. I'm sure there was something legit. But
Well, I tell you a player that's not getting a lot of hype, Adrian Terrell. I think he is really playing well of late. And you mentioned Charles Bediako, and I'm with you. I'm tired of talking about it. And I think you knew my stance from the get-go. But I think Nate Oates' feeling has been, listen, we get in the tournament, Terrell can't do it on his own. We have nobody else behind him. And I think that was kind of the plan from the start with this Bediako thing. But out there again, I just wish we'd move on. I wish he'd move on. I think he will. I think this is over and done with. But I think Terrell is playing well. Hadn't really been getting maybe the hype, the credit he deserves, maybe because Bediako was stealing all of the thunder, even though the stats didn't warrant it. But I think that young man's playing pretty well.
I do have a question. And again, I didn't watch it.
Okay.
I was watching the Troy baseball game and all that.
Yep.
It wasn't, I'm not staying up late for that. But okay, set the scene here. Alabama's won 6 games in a row.
Or 7, I thought you said.
Well, no, I'm setting the scene. At that point, they had won 6 in a row. John, they were well on their way to their 7th win in a row. They're leading by 39. They're leading by 39.
Yeah.
At home. And Oates gets a technical.
Yeah.
At 4:45 to go.
Love it. Yeah.
They never have trailed. Mississippi State, they're out there looking like, if they had watches on, they'd be checking. I'm like, man, that bus, they ain't going to get back to Starkville until 11:30. And man,
I wondered what that was about too.
Warmed up at least. And somehow Nate gets a tech. Can somebody tell me the nature of that technical foul with his team up a jillion points?
He had gotten a little chirpy with some of the officials prior to getting teed up. I believe there was a foul called or something, and he was a little chirpy, and one of the officials told him to get back behind that, black line that you're not supposed to cross as a coach on the floor.
Yeah.
He did, told him to get back. He turned around, but continued to chirp at the guy. And I want to say that the people that were doing the game, once again, didn't know who they were.
Okay.
Mentioned that the tee was on the bench, and then they later clarified that it was on Oates. But I wondered about that as well. He can do his best Saban impersonation from time to time. But these basketball officials have rabbit ears. They think people are there to watch them. Just, Toughen up. So what? Big deal. But these guys got to tee these guys up. They're like, what are you doing? You're not showing me up. I'm the official. So I thought it was kind of petty. But did and there again, if you're going to get teed up, you got to do it to fire your team up or send a message. I don't know what kind of message that sent.
Well, the message is that you play to a standard. There's two possible messages. The message is around here, we play to a standard at all times. Don't look at the scoreboard. Play the next play. He learned that from the sitting head football coach who was there when he got the job.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're putzing around late in the game, and the fans know and the students know that if they get 100 points, they get a free order of gooey fries with their ticket stub from Baumhauer's.
Yeah.
And he's doing it for the fans, saying, guys, if we end up winning this 98-75 and the fans don't get their gooey fries, they're going to come down on my behind. Yeah. Can somebody start playing a little bit harder on the offensive? That's just a theory. That's just my thought. Maybe he did it to light a fire under his team for the gooey fries with the tickets.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Barry, who didn't light a fire under some people were members of the media. You might have gotten a text that I sent you last night. I actually sent it to Gurn Jr. I'm not sure if he's able to put it on the screen for us today.
This is this has become John's obsession.
Yeah.
He can't even enjoy the game anymore. No. From watching anytime the TV even shows a smidge up in the corner of the media row. I don't know. Maybe, it's gray and it is not, it is unsightly, but then again, so are the members of the media.
Sure. Well, I'm with you there.
I don't know. Get a staple gun and put some lights around it, or paint it a cheery color, or paint it houndstooth, or put track lighting up there to shine a soft glow on it or something. But man, John sent me that picture last night, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking he may need an intervention here.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. I'm looking at it and there's a ton of empty seats. If you go to my X account, you'll see it. I've actually got a video of it on my X account of how many empty seats there are on that media row. How many of them aren't even paying attention to the game? One guy's looking at his phone. The other guy's out is just daydreaming. One guy's looking at a cheerleader. And I'm thinking, why are they wasting this prime real estate? They could be selling tickets in that area. I'm hoping Gurn Jr. can pull it up so we can show our listeners and viewers here show our viewers, not our listeners. Just how much of an eyesore
here I got
it is.
I got it.
And I sent it out there.
Yeah,
there we go.
Got it. Yeah.
Look at this.
John sent that to me. I got it and I put it up there. Yesterday, John
look at the guy in the blue shirt. You think he's interested? He's thinking, oh, this is so boring. Oh.
Bottom near mid-center, that guy?
Yeah.
He ain't paying attention, thinking, oh, watch him. They're going to hard hedge on that ball screen, and he's going to roll to the bucket, and they're going to find him there on the pick and roll. He ain't even no. Ain't none of that. He's thinking about, man, I wonder if I can turn in my press pass and get gooey fries from Baumhauer's if I turn. This, it is unsightly. I will grant him that. But who cares? John's out there, and it's like putting a red tape in front of a bull.
Yeah, it is something that is just bugged me for I can't tell you how long. And you're watching, you're getting to that part of the floor, and you can't help but notice it. And there's those cheerleaders standing back there. I'm wondering, why are they there? They're blocking the view of some of those media members.
Oh my!
And I know Coleman's an old facility, and I'm sure they, trying to maximize the space the best they can. But when the media area is like 30% occupied, if that, and the ones I'm looking at aren't even paying attention to the game, or they're looking at their phone, or they're talking amongst each other's, which, okay, I've been guilty of that in the football press box. Carrying on a conversation with somebody and not paying attention to the game. I'll admit, I've done that too. But usually the press box inside Bryant-Denny is full It's standing room only. Either the
I wonder why.
The area is way too big,
which
it is, and they need to move it away from prime seating areas that they could be selling to generate income and stick those media guys up in this corner, because I got another shot last night and I know it was 8 o'clock, and I know it was Mississippi State, and I know it was a team that, maybe people aren't as excited about, but the upper rafters of Coleman Coliseum last night, maybe I can show you that. Nobody's there. Nobody's there. If you could have had a whole section to yourself last night. So gotta have some changes.
Here you go, though. And we're not talking about adding a guy to your roster anymore. I'm done with Bediako. It ain't happening. But you got 3 games left in the regular season.
Yeah.
Tennessee on the road, Georgia on the road, Auburn at home. You got one more home game. That's going to be full. It's a week from Saturday. You're fighting for, I don't think you're going to win the league. You're down 2 with 3 games left. But you're coming down to the end of the regular season. It's too late for Bediako. Y'all guys be quiet about that. Although somebody on Tider Insider says it's very discouraging that fans cheer Noah Williamson when he comes in like he's a walk-on. And number 2, you've got one more home game. You've got a really good team, and you've got that in the stands. And I've been to so many Alabama games. I've called many Alabama games. A lot of those old folks out there, they ain't doing anything. The energy in there needs to be a lot better than it is, because a lot of you don't remember what it used to be like when you used to trot out Sam Hagenes and Jeremy Hayes.
You want me to go really old school? How about Mark Farmer? Remember that guy?
Mark Farmer. And you win more than you'd lose, but nobody cared back then. At least you need to honor that team by your
there again, I know it's 8 o'clock. It's Wednesday. It's Greek night. Yeah, it's going to be hard to get them up there in the upper rafters of Coleman. I get it.
Too big.
That doesn't bother me. It's that media area. And I Greg Burns on notice. I put this out on social media. I took a picture of it. Our man Way Offsides, Jeff, is retweeted it as well.
And he's tagged Greg Byrne with that.
Way to go, Jeff.
So nice. Byrne's looking at his notifications on X, and he says, Longshore. Longshore. He can't get away from the guy.
Yeah. All right. When we come back, more conversation today. We got a lot happening here. Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover at the bottom of this hour. Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market at the top of hour number 2. Bart Hush, our resident college basketball insider, former Mississippi State player for their Final Four team. Get his thoughts about the way the Bulldogs played against the Tide last night.
Yep.
And Barry, our starting 5 today, I believe, is South Carolina. We'll go through the Gamecocks' first 5 games on their football schedule.
That's what I've got locked and loaded on my screen. We're glad that you've locked and loaded our show today, Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years, and heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The President's Day sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokees under 27 grand, or up to 15 grand off. Wranglers, 14 grand off, and Gladiators, 16 grand off. Only at Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown." Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Love is in the air, and so is your chance to win during Victoryland Casino's BMW and 25K giveaway. Drive away in a brand new BMW or win your share of $25,000 in free play. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Stop by the Players Club and fall in love with this month's exciting free play promotions. There's more ways to win at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino is located off I-85, exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings February 27th and 28th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Okay, you just heard it. Drawings tomorrow and Saturday out at Victoryland, where you can be a big winner. BMW and 25K giveaway. That is tomorrow and Saturday. So make sure you're there for your chance to win. You can be a winner too at Victoryland. So, Barry, I'm hearing Auburn is a bubble team.
Yeah. Let's see. Tonight, I think, is the night. It's usually Monday morning and Friday morning. Maybe it's Thursday, where Jerry Palm from CBS updates his bracketology.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Right now, it was updated. Yeah, it was updated last night. And Auburn is, let's see, they are, I don't think they're out. They are, where are they? Alabama is, again, still a 4 seed, except now they got them in the West region where they would play Utah Valley. You may remember Utah Valley for a very sad and somber reason from earlier in there. That's where Charlie Kirk was speaking.
Valley. Let me think. Yep. No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Auburn as a 10 seed against Iowa. They were a 9 seed before they lost to Oklahoma. So you only drop a spot, losing to a 500 team by 12. That's a bit of a break. National perception. So Auburn's a 10. They're not even amongst, the last 4 in or anything like that.
That's tough.
That's what it looks like.
Now,
Alabama. 2
teams. We got Ole Miss and LSU at home. Very winnable. They drop one of those, then I think you see the handwriting on the wall there.
Yeah.
Then Bama in Coleman to wrap up the regular season. So they, win 2 of those 3.
Does it?
It's the SEC tournament in Nashville, maybe win a game or 2.
Wouldn't hurt. Would not hurt. I'm not talking about winning the tournament, but man, if they show up and they lose to LSU or Ole Miss or something,
okay,
that's bad. And for Bama fans, should it always have to be, everybody saving up to make sure you go to the Auburn game? Well, I didn't go to the Mississippi State game. I didn't. It's only Mississippi State. But, I only have the wherewithal and the time to go to one game. And, of course, I'm going to go to the Auburn game.
Uh-huh.
Does it always have to be Auburn to drive ticket sales in Tuscaloosa?
Well, I think that's a little narrow-minded, if you will.
Okay.
There have been a lot of good crowds at Coleman throughout the season. I guess the Auburn game is on a Saturday. I'm not sure. It's midweek.
Yes, it's Saturday.
But 8:00 on a Wednesday night against a Mississippi State team that's average at best. They're not going to. I mean, I don't hold it against a fan base if they don't pack it out to the rafters every week. You're asking a lot of your fan base. Spending money, time and effort, parking, whatever it may be. And then you got to get home at midnight or later on a school night, so to speak. You're asking a lot of your fans. So if they take maybe a game or 2 off, man, I got a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is when they take a game off and it's against East Carolina, Abilene Christian, Mercer, UT Chattanooga. Because I hear these people out there going, oh, well, I don't have a problem playing those games at all. Well, then why don't you go?
Well, And it doesn't seem like the Alabama leadership is very attuned to the fans, to how much they're asking of the fans. There was an opinion column from Michael Casagrande, who covers Alabama. I think he's still with AL.com.
I think so, yeah.
The opinion column, who is really to blame for the Alabama football scheduling dilemma? By announcing a new game for the 2028 schedule on Monday, the Crimson Tide has 13 opponents that fall when only 12 can survive. Bad arithmetic, worse planning. Yet the blame isn't so easily planted in Tuscaloosa, as the addition of Georgia State requires a subtraction elsewhere. I'm quoting here, John.
Yeah.
Because with every good idea comes a drawback. In this case, all signs point to the potential for the cancellation of an Alabama home-and-home series scheduled with Ohio State in 2027 and 2028. Alabama already has home-and-home with West Virginia after the SEC announced the move to 9 conference games. Instead of going to Morgantown this fall, Alabama gets to play East Carolina at home.
Now, did Alabama drop that series? I don't believe they did. I believe West Virginia.
I'm just quoting here. Yeah.
As far as what's the big deal? You got 4 non-conference games. You can only play 3. Well, obviously they want to get somebody in line with the theory that we're going to drop somebody. Now, this game is scheduled to be played next year.
Yes, 2027 in Columbus, and Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjork, former AD at Texas A&M, he said he has heard he said yesterday or Tuesday, he has no indication from Alabama at all. He hadn't had a phone call. He said no indication at all that they intend to call things off.
I mean, you would think that if they were going to drop that game, they would do it so both Ohio State, or really Alabama's already got their 3, but Ohio State could schedule somebody else. There again, it goes back to this: how many home games am I going to have in a season type deal? And I don't like that matrix because I know they really put a lot of emphasis on having 7 home games, 8 home games.
8 home games if you can get them. Yeah.
You're making enough money, though, as I said yesterday. Does it really matter? I guess your merchants and your store owners and restaurants want you to have as many home games as you possibly can. I know Auburn fans certainly are aware of that, with Baylor being in Atlanta this year. But you're going to make enough money anyway when you get your check in Destin in May through the television revenue. And that goes back, I'm not real sure that Fox, who will do the first game, and ABC, who will do the game in Tuscaloosa, would be real thrilled if Alabama and Ohio State decided not to play, particularly with the kind of money that they're paying these conferences to televise their games. Those are the matchups that they want.
You said,
here's another, Barry, there's maybe in 2027, we'll have more than 12 teams in a college football playoff. So why not play games like that? If there's 4 more slots to get you into the playoff, is a loss going to hurt you as bad when there's only 12?
I just came to a screeching halt when he said you're already making enough money making enough money. The concept of athletic departments, we're making enough money.
I'm a big proponent, Barry, of exposing your program to other areas of the country. I've always been a big proponent of that.
Over and over again. I did not realize, although I've never thought about it, maybe that's why I didn't realize it, that Ohio State's never played in Tuscaloosa and Alabama's never played in Columbus.
True.
Heck, I've called a game in Columbus before. Great place on the banks of the Olatangi.
Barry, I'll go one further. Notre Dame has never played in Tuscaloosa. Played at famed Legion Field, also known as the Dump on Graymont.
Yeah, infamous Legion Field.
I should have written that one down years ago, too, when I came up with it.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Okay. Was it really, though? Was it?
You don't like that? The Dump on Graymont? No. Some people call it the Old Gray Lady.
Yes.
Yeah, she's really old.
Yeah.
Oh, woo.
She's falling apart.
I can't tell you the last time I went to Legion Field. Can you remember the last time you went?
I know I've been, can't remember when, but it has been a while. When we come back, Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com, visits with us for the first time in a couple of weeks. Got a lot of catching up to do with him. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way. Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Okay, 28 minutes to the top of the hour. We bring in our friend Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover. Jason, hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us.
I'm good, guys. How about y'all?
We're doing well. We appreciate it. We, like you, are scratching our heads. You had a couple of very interesting reactions at Auburn Undercover following Auburn's lackluster 12-point loss at Oklahoma on Tuesday. What was most disturbing about that one for you?
I think it's just the lack of consistency, and we've seen that pretty much all year from this team. But, you know, as I wrote something earlier this week, I said, listen, you know, we've heard the same kind of argument that they just didn't execute the defense. Well, we're 3 games from the end of the regular season. Then you'd have to do something else. Like, if they can't execute what you're asking them to do, then you'd have to do something they can execute. And so look, the problem and the frustrating part is that we've seen, like, the two easiest games they've had in this league are Florida and Arkansas. If you're talking about how they played,
right,
lack of, like, those are the 2 games where you went, man, they were kind of in control of those games against 2 of the 3 best teams in this league. That's what they did. So it shows you it's there, and that potential is there. But I think that lack of depth, and obviously, look, I've said it till, you know, we talked it over and over again. This was going to be a difficult season no matter what, because you rebuilt an entire roster. So you got a bunch of new faces together. They've never played in the system before. They've never played together before, and you're going to have some hiccups along the way. But you should be ironing those out as you go along, and it doesn't look like this team has done that.
You know, you mentioned that Florida game. I've talked a little bit about it again this week, you know, when they were talking about Auburn, bubble, whatever. To me, that's huge. I mean, the committee is going to see that and go, well, wait a minute, how many teams went into Gainesville and won by 9 points? So to me, that is a huge feather in the cap for Auburn that I think is going to go a long way. Certainly, they need to win the next 2 at home against Ole Miss and LSU. Certainly winnable games. If they play like they did against Arkansas and Florida, they can certainly beat Alabama and Tuscaloosa in a week or so as well. And who knows what happens in Nashville?
Yeah, no, look, this team has shown they can beat anybody. The problem is they've also shown they can lose anybody, and that's when you don't know what you're going to get. But you're right. you have to win the next two. There's no question about it now. At 6 and 9, you got to get to 8 wins.
Yeah.
If you win in Tuscaloosa, you're in. That'd be great. If you don't at 8 and 10, because of your resume, because of the number one strength of schedule, I think you're probably still in, but you don't need to go to the SEC tournament and lose the first game. Because we've seen seeding not really be impacted by tournaments. What's impacted by tournaments is bubble seeding. That's where they separate things with that last game. And so for Auburn, no matter what, you're going to have to win a game in the SEC tournament, but you got to get to 8 and 10 at least to give yourself a chance.
Yeah, and people will say, there were teams from the SEC. SEC got, I think, 14 in last year, and they had teams from the SEC that got in with 8 wins in the league, but last year's SEC was the best league there ever has been in college basketball, and you don't have that bump there as for anybody. I think this year 8 is absolutely the rock bottom bare minimum, I think, to get in. And the frustrating thing as well is that you take the Kentucky win, whatever the circumstances, you win at home in Kentucky against Kentucky, and like you said, the critical win. And you think, well, this team has turned the corner. It's finally figured out what it takes to win some of these games. And then the next week they just sleepwalk right through. The inconsistency has got to be causing a lot of sleepless nights for Stephen Pearl.
Yeah, I think something to remember, too, is that Kentucky's not very good. That's part of this, too. Like, it's not beating Kentucky that we think about. Like they're just an okay team. And so that's part of it, is that's what it's taken for you to do some of those things. Anytime you beat Kentucky, it's big, but that's not the Kentucky team that's going to be a Final Four team or one of those types of teams. So you look and go, it was a great win, but you still didn't play very well. I mean, Keyshawn Murphy did, and that's the other part of this one, is that the inconsistency of what you're doing. Keyshawn Murphy scores 25 against Kentucky, and I look up midway through the second half the other night, he's got 4 shot attempts. I don't know how those things happen, but they keep happening to this team. And, your best players have to play well. And, look, Keyshawn Hall played really well for a lot of the time. Todd Pettiford's played well at times. But when you look up and you have games where, Todd Pettiford had 4 points, and he's shooting less than 28% from 3. This team was going to struggle if Todd Pettiford wasn't one of his best players, and that's been the case.
Are you surprised? Because I think it was you. It was somebody on the great coverage from AuburnUndercover.com who was talking about Elijah Freeman, who scored in double figures, provided great energy off the bench against Kentucky. That he is a critical piece in what they're doing, even though he's not been a starter. He's a guy that has kind of defined a role for himself. Am I right, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, they've got guys like that they've done a good job of kind of filling that role and chipping in and doing those things, but they just don't get consistent touches, and that's the thing. When this team becomes a one-on-one team, it's when they're at their worst, and we saw a lot of that the other night, and we've seen that. Look, this team doesn't need Todd Pettiford to score 25, because that normally means that there's a lot of shots involved, but they need him to score more than 4. You need to have a happy medium in there where you can go, hey, you know what you're going to get out of this guy every night. And then the other guys have to be able to chip in and do those things. And look, I think all those guys had 4 points. I think you get 4 points from Freeman and Sway and Keyshawn Murphy. And you go, look, you had to have one of those 25-point nights, and they didn't come close to that.
Jason, Barry and I have been talking about this subject, well, gee whiz, probably as long as we've been together, but we've really been talking a lot about it this week, and it deals with football scheduling. And I went back and looked at all 16 SEC teams, and I see Auburn, Alabama, and Georgia as the only ones in the league that have multiple non-conference games against teams that I would consider upper echelon. There's schools out there that have the Minnesotas and the Wake Forest and the Arizonas and the Kansases, but I'm talking about Notre Dame, Miami, Ohio State, people like that. Since the league has gone to 9 games, and then you've got these quality non-conference games as well. I know scheduling at home has a lot to do with it, but do you think those days are over? Do you think that more schools are going to, particularly Alabama, Auburn, and Georgia, for instance, that have had multiple big-time non-conference opponents, are going to scale that back and do what the rest of the league is doing? Because, if the Big Ten, and I've always thought, top to bottom, the Big Ten's not even close to the SEC in terms of strong teams. But do you think the SEC or those three schools in particular are going to say, whoa, we're not going to do this either?
Yeah, I hope not. And I think it's going to have to come from Greg Sankey. I think it's going to have to come from, the commissioners of the Big Ten. And look, we're going to continue to play these games just like they did in basketball. Like, look, you're going to do this in football. Yeah. Like, look, we're playing 9 games, but this is what we wanted. And now you're going to have to play a quality non-conference opponent, so a power type opponent. I think they're going to have to do that, because I heard a little bit coming on. But like, listen, you get to 16 teams or 24 or whatever it's going to be, you're going to be able to lose that game and it's not going to impact you a great deal. But it's hard. It's hard to talk people into going, well, we're going to play 10 of those. Well, with as much money's involved now, and that's the world we live in.
Yeah,
it is a money world, and I was laughing because yesterday, the report comes out about, these tampering, they're going to charge people 20% of the budget. And I said, which budget is it?
I saw that.
Is it the budget or is it the budget?
Is it the budget? Is it the budget on the books?
Yeah, or is it the $45 million that people actually spend? Which one you're getting fined on? And so it's all about money and what's the bottom line. And right now, I think schools have figured out, well, hey, we're still getting this TV money. We're playing 9 games. People still going to buy tickets because they want those other games. We're good. And,
do you get it though, Jason, from fans that you talk to? They realize you're kind of gambling a little bit here, but those are the type teams we want to see come into Jordan-Hare or Bryant Denny or
they want to see it if you win. They want to see it if you win.
Yeah.
They don't want to see it if you lose, and it hurts you.
And they're giving with the expanded playoff, I think you can lose, games and still get in. And I certainly get that. That has always bothered me, though, Jason. And I know somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. But I've heard that a lot with schools all over this league. We might lose that game. Well, you might win it too.
Yeah, I mean, it's the argument now because of the expanded playoffs. People have to change their mindsets of 9-3 is going to get you in if you get 16 teams and you play in this league.
Yeah.
But 9-3 has gone from, in 1987, you go 9-3. That means you've won the Citrus Bowl and you're probably number 8 in the country. And people go, what a great year you had.
Yeah.
The last few years you go 9-3, you miss the playoffs. People go, oh man, need to fire that guy.
Yeah.
That's how much the mindset of college football has changed. And it's got to change now to the NFL model, which is, hey, just get in the playoffs and see what happens. That's the future we look at.
I think it's kind of like the NFL model. You can lose 3 games, heck, maybe even 4 if we go to 16 or 24, depending on where you played, who you lost. I think the basketball scheduling matrix, hey, look at strength of schedule type stuff. I think it's going to be interesting to follow in the years to come.
Jason, have you detected in the limited time that any change in the emotion, in the demeanor, in the football offices, in the football building with the football team? Has there been anything marked that you can point to that's different from the previous regime?
I think anytime you get something new, there's always a burst of energy. And so I think that always happens, always occurs. Talk to the players and who've been through it and said, look, they like the energy, direction, kind of the purpose of the day a little bit. And so I think that's the focal point for them is, hey, improvement, get there. And then obviously, we're about 3 weeks away from spring practice. We'll start to get an idea then of kind of what these guys look like and how everything rolls. But so far it's been just the grinding towards that thing and trying to kind of get your feet on the ground.
I'm asking you this because it's local, basically, and people locally are asking about this. Your opinion. What we saw last year from Jeremiah Cobb at running back, Montgomery kid, is that basically what he is? Or do you think there's more for that guy still to be produced?
Yeah, he played the first month with after having broken hand, broken finger, whatever. Mm. He's an elite receiver. Saw him in high school a bunch, and he's an elite receiver. I think that's a part of his game that's still to come. Catching the ball out of the backfield, and Bryson Washington does the same things. I think that's a part of the game that could really take off for him in this offense, doing some of those things. And so, yeah, I think there's still more to come for him.
Great kid, right? I mean, great.
Absolutely. Awesome kid. Yeah. Just puts his head down, goes to work the way he's always been. He wasn't a big social media guy, wasn't a me guy. He just went out and played football and did his thing. And that's what he's continued to do.
Excellent.
Will there be anything in terms of spring football? Will there be any changes in terms for how you cover it, Jason? Or are you going to get more access, limited from what you normally have? What are you hearing on that front?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really open. We've already had every assistant coach after signing day, and of course we've had Golis a few times, and I think we're going to have a lot of player interaction throughout the spring. Of course, there's a lot of new players, so a lot of that's going to be, hey, what's Auburn like, introduction, kind of things. But I think we'll get a lot of those guys throughout the spring, so I think we should have a good bit of access.
Yeah, and that means more. That means advantage to all of the subscribers. AuburnUndercover.com, already great content, already inside information and inside features as well. Even more coming up with football still to come. How do people sign up and get involved in all of this, Jason?
Yeah, you can check us out, AuburnUndercover.com, part of the 24/7 network, and find us on all those social media platforms, and also find me at ITAT Jason.
Hey, Jason, as always, my friend, we appreciate your time. Look forward to it each and every week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jason.
Good stuff. Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover.
Yeah. I never could figure out why coaches limited all of that access, and especially now, John, when everybody's got their own brand and, they want to, I had heard that, players would be demanding compensation. Okay, you want me to go talk with so-and-so and such from AuburnUndercover.com, how much you're going to pay me to do that? Well, that helps you. If you're trying to get your name out and you're trying to get, people associating your name positively, I mean, you got to do stuff like that. It's the same reason why movie stars give interviews on the red carpet at the Oscars for free, is to associate them with that. So I'm hoping that type of thing, and it hasn't happened much in the past, allows more access to the players, allows more, a lot of times, they want to control their own access. They'll have their own social media videos, but still every bit of public access helps their brand. And I certainly does make my life a whole lot easier.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And I think, Barry, there was this paranoia when cell phone or phones that we have now, these type things, and you could video and take pictures and instantly put it out there for the world to see.
Yep.
College coaches did not like that a bit.
No, because some players didn't really understand, and they'd have pictures of themselves or videos of themselves in their crib flashing, they get about 420s on the outside, and they'd get a bunch of ones in the middle, and they'd, flare them out to make it look like they got, and that's not what you want to do.
Yeah,
that doesn't
like they were rolling.
That's exactly right.
It.
So again, you need a little education.
Yeah, exactly. We got a lot going on in hour number 2 today with Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Market, Bart Hush, our college basketball insider. So what do you say when we get back from this next timeout? We look at the South Carolina Gamecocks starting 5 for 2026.
Let's do that when we return. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry is Central Alabama's best-known jewelry store. Their location at 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree is conveniently located adjacent to Chappie's Deli. At Marguerite's, they have every jewelry item imaginable because they make it. They really make it. From rings, necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and much, much more. Marguerite's can also repair, clean, and rework any jewelry item that you want to bring back to life. Whether you're on a budget or have no budget at all, Marguerite's has all types of jewelry for everyone. Go by and see them today or call 270-0074.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, Think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. You know, many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272. All righty, back at it here, about 10 minutes to the top of the hour. The River Region Straw chat line going hot and heavy today. Dennis Mitchell's hopped on as well. He's not real happy about the Bears possibly moving to Indiana to build a new stadium. Is that going to happen? Is that what's going on with the Bears? I wasn't aware of that. But Dennis certainly is. Huh.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're sitting there, obsessing over Georgia State. It's a great, big, beautiful world. That's a huge, I think it's going to happen. Yeah. They want to get out of downtown. Look, Soldier Field is right on Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can only come at it from one direction, and the traffic's terrible, and the place is old and all that. They're talking about moving to Hammond or Gary, Indiana, or something like that. Indiana's already got a pro team. Thing with the Chiefs moving out of Missouri and moving into Kansas. It's
all about the money. All about the money.
Yes.
Hey, South Carolina, Shane Beamer is their head coach. He's kind of charismatic on the sidelines. Would you agree?
I like him a lot.
He's a young whippersnapper.
He's not as young as he used to be, but yeah.
My grandfather used to call me a whippersnapper. I never knew what that meant.
That's a grandfather term, you know. Newfangled was always a grandfather term. Newfangled things like cable television. You know, he'd still, out of habit, asked you to go up and switch a channel. Switch a channel over to ABC.
That's right.
And all that. You think, well, Grandpa, you've got a remote. I don't like those newfangled things. You young whippersnapper.
Go grab yourself a soda pop, son. Huh?
The problem is this for South Carolina. I like Shane Beamer. I do. Yeah. South Carolina, they've had some of the best coaches in college football history. Steve Spurrier, Lou Holtz. But they've had them after most of the shine had worn off. Sold some tickets. They've got an amazing fan base that'll always show up at the municipal stadium that they play in, which is off campus and all. But, John, I don't think they're built for success. I mean, the success they want to have.
Sure, they do have a loyal fan base. I give them that. Their fans have stayed through them through thick and thin. They've had their moments, but it seems like they've had more down moments than they have had positive ones. You mentioned Lou Holtz, Steve Spurrier, certainly had some named coaches over there. Why they can't consistently get it done. And I'm a little surprised Shane Beamer hadn't been able to get it done at a higher level. I know he's got to deal with Clemson, who's in the ACC in-state rival. But I think this year's big for them. They opened their first three, Barry. I mean, come on. I mean, Kent State, Towson, and Mississippi State, 3 in a row at home to start the season?
Before they go to Tuscaloosa. The Kent State Golden Flashes open up at Williams-Brice Stadium on September 5th. Then Towson. I've got $100 right now that says you don't know the nickname of the Towson.
I'm going to say they're in the state of Ohio.
They are not.
Nah. That's a good guess, though. There are a lot of schools in Ohio.
Yeah, then you went with the odds,
yeah,
which even then aren't that great. They're in Maryland.
Maryland.
They're Baltimore.
Wow.
Towson Tigers in week 2, Mississippi State week 3, as John alluded, all in Columbia. Here's the thing.
I'm going to make a prediction, Barry. Week 3, hosting Mississippi State, has got 11 o'clock SEC network written all over it.
Maybe so. And, that they are an 11 a.m. staple.
Yeah. Towson is an SEC plus game, no doubt.
So is
I don't know about Kent State.
So is so is Mississippi State. They're an 11 a.m. staple out there. But I love the South Carolina fans. I have a niece who graduated from South Carolina. Great school, wonderful school, salt of the earth. Now I know why Tigers eat. They love it. You know this, John. They will be very likely 3-0.
Yeah.
They'll be blowing that infernal atomic chicken thing that Eddie Stivers likes to do to scare the bejeebers out of me and the showroom at Stivers. They'll be partying in the cockaboos. 3-0. Woohoo. Beamer's finally got it going on.
Mm-hmm.
And a dash of cold water across the face when they have to go to Tuscaloosa.
First road trip of the year.
4. Now, I don't think Alabama's going to be all that this year. They're going to be good. They're going to win 9 games, maybe more, but it's not like the monolithic, monumental challenge that it used to be. But still, Alabama's going to win that game, and they'll probably win it by double figures. And then they're going to hate Shane Beamer again.
Yeah, probably so.
That's like whenever you go somewhere other than Stivers and you buy a vehicle and you think, man, this is shiny. This is great. And then, a week into it and you've got difficulties with it. You don't like it. You're seeing flaws in it. And you're thinking, I don't like it as much. I should have gone to Stivers in the first place.
Sure.
It's like, hey, we love Shane Beamer. We're 3-0. Woohoo. Then you go to Alabama and get spanked 21-10, although they did give Alabama all they could handle.
Yeah, last 2 times they played, I believe they've given them all they could handle.
They hosted Alabama last year, and I don't think it was a bad call or anything like that, but Alabama escapes by a touchdown.
Well, I think that was the game, Barry, that the Carolina defender didn't even attempt to try to tackle the Alabama player that scored.
Oh, that's right. I think it was Jeremy Bernard or somebody like that. That's exactly right. So they'll lose that game, but they won't lose it as badly as they've lost that game sometimes. And then they're back at home against Kentucky. That's a manageable first 5, except for the problem on the road in Tuscaloosa.
Very manageable, very manageable enough that this team should be 4-1 after their first 5.
I agree.
They certainly have a good chance to do that. Maybe things go real well for them and they're 5-0. Who knows? But that first road game of the year just happens to be in Tuscaloosa. Alabama should also roll into that game undefeated at that point as well, based on who their first 3 opponents are before they play South Carolina. So this could be a matchup that is marketed and hyped up. Oh, look at this. 2 undefeated teams squaring off at Bryant-Denny. Maybe a possible night game. Who knows? But Bama, of course, will be coming off that huge game against the Florida State Seminoles, a revenge game the week prior to them hosting South Carolina in Tuscaloosa. So that could be an interesting matchup on September the 26th.
With all that being said, though, it's fool's gold. They're 4-1 and it won't last. They'll be doing the chicken crow and all that, and it's not going to last.
It's not
for them. We get on the chat line that their prize off left tackle hurt himself in the workouts, maybe gone for the season. I think that's Jacarius Peak, the transfer from NC State. But that's the point. Other than that, who can you name? Other than the quarterback, other than Lenora Sellers, maybe. Who else do you know off that South Carolina team, people? I mean, who else do you ever know? They got a good quarterback from the state of Alabama, from Jackson, Landon Duckworth, who I don't think he'll play this year. They'll redshirt him. Other than that, really. I didn't realize they signed Kelby Collins, who was in Alabama. He transferred over. But that's the problem with South Carolina, is that they have, in relation to other schools around the country, they have it pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
In relation to the rest of the SEC, they have a stone ceiling that they cannot push through.
Yeah.
To get
tough. It's tough there in Columbia, South Carolina.
4-1, but it
4-1, I think, is their high mark.
Yeah.
I think that's their high mark. So tomorrow when we're at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Prattville, our starting 5 team of the day will be the Tennessee Volunteers. We'll go over Tennessee's first 5, see how they'll play out.
Yep.
We'll do that tomorrow on the program.
In just a moment, as we wrap up our first live hour, Rodney Orr, the Tiger Insider, brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information. Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk, stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet. You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-diddle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs. All righty, welcome back in, everybody. A couple of minutes past the top of hour number 2 here on a Thursday, Longshore and McKnight. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. You can follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. Just type in Longshore and McKnight, Spotify, Apple Tunes. Of course, you can also check us out at yellowhammernews.com. That's right. Yellowhammer News for all of your news, politics, lifestyle, sports. Check it out, yellowhammernews.com. You'll see us there as well. Rodney Orr, the Tiger Insider, joining us here today, is brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. How you doing today, Rodney?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing really well. Let's start this off right at the top, a discussion that John and me, mostly John, has been having since we found out the announcement was made on Monday, I believe, or yesterday. Or Tuesday, that Alabama is adding a 2020, what is it, John, 2027?
I believe next season.
Game against Georgia State, which gives Alabama 4 non-conference opponents, in which, of course, you're only allotted to have 3 non-conference opponents. Number one, what do you think about that? Number two, who gets tossed out of that one, Ohio State or Oklahoma State?
It's a big difference between the states, isn't there?
Yeah, boy.
That's what John says.
Yeah. Boy, that's a good question. I mean, I really don't know if I was pulling the strings, I think I would dump Ohio State. It's just me because I tell you, look, you already play a really difficult schedule in the SEC. I would love to play Ohio State, but kind of the way it is now in this 12-team playoff, unless it expands, I mean, that's a real challenge to play that kind of schedule. I think now, especially too, let's be honest, teams aren't as deep as they once were. And you play a schedule like that, I think you're really opening yourself up for, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. I'll say that. Now, look, I understand Texas and Ohio State played last year. They're playing again this year. There's a lot of these games, and I love them. I mean, I really wish they could continue. But now with a 9-game SEC schedule, I think it makes it really tough.
Well, actually, it's next year is when they're scheduled to go to Ohio State. They only have 2 non-conference games scheduled in 2027. There's 4 in 2028.
Right.
I don't know why we're not dropping UT Martin, but they're not asking me. I mean, I'm totally different, Rodney. I say play them. In this day and age, when there's so much money being made through the television, and the television wants these type of matchups, particularly for the money that they're spending. And if you lose a couple of 3 games, odds are you're going to get into the playoff, particularly if they expand it to 16 and maybe possibly 24. So I think losing games, particularly a game of this magnitude, is kind of like basketball, your schedule strength. And I think people are going to look at that. The fans want it. They don't want to play these games against UT Martin. They could care less. And I've never really bought into we might lose this game. Well, you might win it too. And I think there needs to be more of that thought process out there. Yeah, we'll play them. And would it look good if Alabama wanted to drop Ohio State and Georgia continues to play them? Because Georgia's got Ohio State on their schedule, I think the 2 years after Alabama's scheduled to play them.
Yeah, and I agree. You make a great argument. Again, like I said, I love the matchups, okay? I do. I love the matchups. I guess, let me just put it this way. If I were Kalen DeBoer, I would probably like to play Georgia State and Oklahoma State and drop Ohio State. Again, that's just me thinking it from that perspective in terms of having success. And I know that's a weak deal, but listen, you play a tough schedule regardless. And eventually, if you make the playoffs, you're going to play those teams. I get that. I'm kind of looking at it from that perspective. But at the same time, I certainly understand what you say, John. I say, if you, from a fan's perspective, I mean, it couldn't get any better than playing Ohio State, whether that's in Tuscaloosa or up there in Columbus. I mean, I think it would be, just an all-time opportunity, to play a team like that up there in the Horseshoe and then bring them down here.
Barry, I know some of your favorite times when we have Rodney on is the middle of the summer and we reminisce about a Penn State game in the 70s or 80s, or Notre Dame and South Bend and Ozzie Newsome. Isn't it going to be great 10, 15 years from now when we're sitting back going, hey, Rodney, remember that game in Columbus, Ohio when Bama scored with 2 seconds to go to beat the Buckeyes? Don't you want to have to think about from years from now?
Well, that's a great suggestion there.
It brings up this, and I was going to save it for later. Rodney Orr with TighterInsider.com had written a snippet, and you guys ought to check it out because I don't remember a lot of this. Rodney had a little thing that says a few things I remember. He posted it on Tuesday at TighterInsider.com, and I want to get some clarification on one of them. And I quote, okay. I remember the night before the 82 Penn State game staying out at the sidetrack till 4:30 in the morning. I remember it was hot as all get out that day at Legion Field. I remember the Penn State up back blocking his team's own punt. I remember after winning 42-21 thinking Bama would win the national championship. I remember it all came crashing down the next Saturday. I have plenty of questions about that, Rodney.
Okay, you fire away.
So the sidetrack, Rodney, if I'm not mistaken, was on 15th, kind of down there by Greensboro.
Absolutely, right on the corner. Right on the corner. It was actually right there. Was it 10th Street that leads straight up to the stadium?
Yeah.
But it was right there on the corner. Actually, or right near the corner, there was an apartment complex adjacent to it called Sherrill Plaza. I later lived there, and when that train came by, everything rattled. And John and Barry, it came by at 5:30 in the morning.
I mean, yeah.
But no, the sidetrack. First of all, Barry, that night, we stayed out till 4:30. We got back to the dorm, and we had to get up at 7 a.m. because the game was like noon or something, and it was at Legion Field. So you had to get up early. You had to get ready. You wanted to get there about an hour and a half before the game. All of those things. You remember the good old days. That's the way it was. And guess what? Felt great. I mean, it was hot. It was really humid that day. But here's the thing, John and Barry. You're thinking after a big game like that, you're going to go back and you're going to go back to the sidetrack and celebrate. I tell you, I was paralyzed by the time I got home.
A lot of people have been paralyzed.
I can't wait to read the rest of that.
So, the Penn State, did the Penn State punter pump the ball into his own guy's rear end?
Right into the back. It was early in the game. Might have been their first or second possession. It was real early into the game. And the up back kind of retreated a little bit, and it hit him right in the butt and ricocheted towards the Penn State goal line, and Alabama got it. And it was a crazy game. It really was. And Penn State goes on to win the national championship that year, by the way.
So you got a bunch of those on there. Just check it out. A few things I remember. A couple of them I do remember. I'd forgotten all about Dave Dials and Warner Wolf doing the ABC College Scoreboard show.
So Rodney, that was 82, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, that was 82. And then of course the next Saturday they went to Knoxville and they got up on Tennessee. I think it was like 21-6 or something like that. Tennessee comes back and wins the game 35-28. And that was Alabama had won 11 in a row over Tennessee, and that was kind of the beginning of the end. Unfortunately.
Was the 84 Penn State game their first trip to Tuscaloosa?
Let's see, 84. Yeah. And it was a 6-0 game. It was a 6-0 game. Yep.
That's the first time I ever saw a cutout figure of somebody. And these Penn State fans come into Tuscaloosa. They're parking all up and down University Boulevard. And this one Penn State fan has a cutout life-size picture of Joe Paterno. And I'm walking back to class one day. I went, oh, my God, there's Joe Paterno. But I'd never seen one of those before. Had to take a double take. It was a cutout figure of Joe.
John also thought that there was a cutout figure of a couple of Alabama defensive backs, but those were actually real.
No doubt. Hey, it's crawfish season, and your Central Alabama spot to get them is in Montgomery at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. They have both spicy boiled and live crawfish available. So call ahead, place your order for live crawfish at 288-4272. That's 288-4272. Pick them up. You'll be ready for the weekend. 3750 Norman Bridge Road, the Destin Connection.
You also had a little piece where you point out that spring drills start up in a couple of weeks under Caleb DeBoer. It's his third. And it's been a long time since Bama's had this many questions. Name one or two that you think the questions that you have going into spring that you think might be most critical for this team.
Well, I mean, obviously, a lot of people might start at quarterback because you're going to have an inexperienced quarterback, no matter who it is, right? But I would say it starts up front, and I look at there. I look at the offensive line. You could have 4 guys on that starting offensive line that weren't even on your roster last year.
Yeah. Hey,
I think you
sounds good to me. That sounds like that sounds like good news.
Well, could be. And you've got a new offensive line coach. And I'll tell you this, obviously, look at the defensive line. You got wiped out with the starters. So you're bringing in new guys again. Maybe it's an upgrade with Terrence Green and Kid Bingley Jones and Devin Tompkins, et cetera. We'll see. I mean, I think those are going to be real challenges. Of course, you got a quarterback that's going to be limited in experience, but very talented, whether it's Austin Mack or Keelan Russell. And I think, you look at inside linebacker. You lost your three top guys. I mean, you're not bringing back anyone with much experience. You did bring in Caleb Woodson from the portal, but, I think, again, he's a new player. So a lot of questions there, in my opinion. And then running back, too. You don't even have an established running back yet. Now, there's some talent, obviously. There's obviously some talent, but there's a lot of questions.
Will Alabama have a first-round draft pick in this year's NFL draft?
This year's?
Yep.
I think so. I think Proctor may go first round. That's a lot of the projections. I think, Ty Simpson, once he throws, I think when he throws in this combine, people are going to be really impressed. I think that's a very good setting for him. So I think Ty, there's a good chance because of the limited number of quarterbacks in this draft that I think are top-notch guys. I think it certainly opens the opportunity for Ty to move up.
What about the basketball game last night? LeBaron Fallon does not play. Heard anything about, is he injured? Was he sick? Disciplinary? What do you think? Got Tennessee coming up Saturday night in Knoxville. Hey, they score 100 points. Barry said everybody got gooey fries because they got 100 points last night.
I didn't know that. But,
yeah. That's motivation.
I will say this. I think Phylon will be ready for Tennessee. He could have played last night in an emergency situation, they said. But so they were holding him out, I think. Sounds like precautionary reasons. So I think he's back for Tennessee. But, man, they really, when you look at this team, obviously they've won 7 in a row. And, by the way, I think 5 of those have been without Betty Akko.
Yes.
So,
5 in a row without him, yes.
Yeah. So the pieces seem to be coming together. A lot of these guys that I think earlier in the year, they weren't really gelled together. Now I think they've come along and you're starting to see more guys contribute in big ways. I think Aiden Sherrill has been really big over the last few weeks, kind of his development, had a couple of double doubles. Last night, I think he had 11 and 6, 11.6 rebounds. And then, Taylor Bowen, who's been kind of limited. He had a pretty nice game last night with 10 and 6. So, obviously Amari Allen, the true freshman, just loaded up last night. He was 6 of 6 at one point in the first half on threes. He had 26 points. So, a lot of different guys kind of starting to contribute with the guys that we, had been performing, whether it's, Holloway or Wrightsell or whoever. But I just think that they're kind of coming together more and feeling themselves as a team at the right time, down the stretch. But here's the thing, 7 in a row, but they've lost 5 in a row to Tennessee, which is the next opponent Saturday afternoon, actually at 5, up there at Tennessee. So that'll be a real challenge to see how they kind of perform in that game. We've got a couple of more key games, obviously Georgia, you got Auburn coming here, then the SEC tournament. But, John and Barry, I still say right now this team is playing really well. You never know when you get into the tournament what your draw is and what kind of run you'll make. But this team, I'm not predicting anything more than what I think you asked last week about the ceiling. I still say right now, I would say it's a Sweet 16 team, but it is a team that looks like if they keep developing and coming together and these pieces continue to play well together, then I think, who knows? Alabama could be a little bit of a surprise.
Could be. I'm with you there. I tell you, they were running and gunning, hitting some threes, and they were throwing a lot of them up there last
22.
night. Both teams shooting a lot of threes last night.
Yeah.
22. That's I think that's the 9th straight game they've had 10 plus threes. So 22 last night, and they're going to have to go up there to Knoxville. Tennessee does a really good job of shut them down. The last several meetings that they've had. So I think the shooting, if they can shoot those threes, obviously they're not going to hit 22, I don't think, but if they can, shoot the three well, maybe they break this little run that Tennessee has.
So Alabama came into the night leading the country in scoring. They scored 100 last night. We talked about this in the open about that game. Between Alabama and Mississippi State, they shot 91 three-point shots in 40 minutes last night. I would imagine the recruits gravitate towards that kind of a thing. Kids love playing that way, don't they, Rodney?
Yeah. Yep. It's a little bit of an NBA style up and down the floor. They run and gun and, so it's a really exciting brand. I mean, obviously Alabama needs to continue to, defensively improve. I mean, but I think when you shoot like they shoot in terms of the numbers and the pace that they play, you're going to give up more on the defensive end.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes. So you want to continue to rebound and become better at rebound, which they were really struggling. Now, last night they out-rebounded Mississippi State by 12, 48-36. So they've got to continue to improve there, but it is a very exciting brand of basketball.
Well, but Rodney, here's where Barry rolls his eyes and goes, "Oh, you got to be kidding me."
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. You're a member of the media, Rodney, obviously.
Oh, no.
I posted on social media last night because it just has been driving me crazy forever. I don't like where the media is set up at Coleman Coliseum. When you're watching a game on television and the action goes to that end of the floor, I'm gravitated toward this black hole up there known as the media area that was maybe 25% occupied last night. And the people that were there weren't even paying attention to the game. Is there any way in your mind that they could move that somewhere else so we could get fans in that area to, cheer the team on and not just have this dead space sitting there?
Well, it's I've heard others say the same, John. So I will say that, but I'll say this too, taking it another step further. Have you guys actually watched a game from the press box at Bryant-Denny now? We used to have the primo position there on the west side of the stadium. I'd sit close to the 50-yard line. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're over in that north east corner. And guess what? At 2:30, you can't even see the field for the sun block. I mean, seriously.
You're right.
And then they've got these windows. And again, I'm just kind of saying the challenges we have here. They have these big, kind of the silver railings between them. You can't see part of the field. You have to move your head. You have to adjust your seat. So anyway, they certainly weren't really kind of thinking about the media there when they, put this new press box in, I can tell you.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, the old one was pretty dadgum nice. Every time I went in it, Rodney, I always thought to myself, I got the best seat in the house here.
No
this
doubt.
is unbelievable. They
it was incredible.
This stuff for primo.
Yeah. It was,
yes.
Yeah.
And they caught on to that.
Well, maybe they'll catch on to my little idea about where the media is in Coleman, because I just don't like it. I don't think it's a good look. I think they could utilize that for fans that are making noise and cheering the team on, and not this just, like I said, dead space sitting over there. Just, such a downer. But okay, enough of that. I've been on that soapbox enough today.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate Rodney Orr, TighterInsider.com, with all that he contributes to us and on the website. How do people get involved on the website, Rodney?
Right. It's TighterInsider.com. It's only $48 a year, and you can get instant access with your credit card if you prefer. There is an address there to send a check. And of course, right now, I mean, guys, we're just about over a week or so. I think it's March 9th or somewhere in there when the spring practice is going to start. So we're getting close. We'll have more on spring practice. We've had some, as Barry alluded to earlier, some stuff on that. We're going to have more in the coming days. But listen, it's going to be really busy, and it's busy right now. A lot of talk about basketball on our All Sports forum. So never really stops there on Tighter Insider.
It's fantastic. It's my place to go. One stop, Tighter Insider, TighterInsider.com. Rodney, as always, my friend, we greatly appreciate your time. We'll talk next week.
Appreciate it, guys. Take care.
You too, buddy. Thank you so much. Rodney Orr, brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. It is crawfish season.
That is John's place to go for fresh seafood. You know, you go to John's place to go for all the latest Alabama news is TighterInsider.com. His place to go for the latest and freshest seafood, the Destin Connection Seafood Market. It is crawfish time, and you don't want to miss out.
And it's crawfish season, and your Central Alabama spot to get them is right here in Montgomery at the Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call ahead, 288-4272. Your order will be ready for pickup. They have both the spicy boiled and live crawfish. Have them ready for you to pick up. Enjoy them this weekend. A lot of good basketball action. The Destin Connection Seafood Market. Not only, Barry, that's where I found out all my Alabama intel. That's where I find my Auburn intel too.
Well,
it's like a one-stop shop.
So I did have a question last week with your reference about the Destin Connection Seafood Market. I had written it down for it to roll through today. And you had mentioned last week that you were going to be your plans included cooking up some triple tail.
Correct.
That you got from the Destin Connection.
That's
Seafood
correct.
Market. Number one, how good was that? And number two, what exactly is? I looked it up. It's a mild kind of fish.
Correct. So I'm actually going to be doing it this weekend. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. Right. I actually pick up my seafood here at the Destin Connection and then take it back to the coast because I know it's fresher here than it is down there. So I'm going to do that this weekend. But there's actually 3 tails. You know, it's like the back of the tail. There's 3 prongs on it like that. But it is a very light white fish. You know, most people don't fry it, but I do it every now and then. Most people have it, pan sauteed, something like that, which also is outstanding. But, it's one of my favorites, and you can get it at the Destin Connection.
Of course you can. You can get it all at the Destin Connection.
If it's swimming in the Gulf, you can get it.
Yep, and they can have it ready for you. John swears by the grouper po' boy, all of that stuff.
Yes.
They've got it, and you can call ahead as well, 288-4272, and they can have it ready for pickup at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Still to come, let's see, we've already done the starting 5. We've already griped about media seating at Coleman Coliseum. We can check that off the list. The Phantom's Daily Dog. We haven't gotten to that yet.
Well, we'll do that when we return.
Coming up with Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Montgomery Regional Airport is getting better the more you use it. MGM offers multiple nonstop daily flights to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas-Fort Worth, and Washington's Reagan National Airport via Delta and American Airlines. And beginning this April, MGM will offer daily nonstop flights to Houston's Intercontinental Airport via United Airlines. All of these cities offer easy connections to destinations all over the country and all over the world. Make travel more cost-effective and less stressful when you utilize your Montgomery Regional Airport. MGM, you can get there from here.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. You know, many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years. And heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
All right, we're back at it here on this Thursday, bottom of the hour. Bart Hush, college basketball insider, going to join us here in a few minutes. We certainly recap some SEC basketball. I know he's got a lot of high school action as well that he's dealing with the tournaments going on, and we'll talk with him about that as well. But you mentioned, Barry, the Daily Dog, something we do every day.
Let's see here. Daily Dog.
Yeah.
Yesterday, it had something to do with Southeastern Conference men's basketball.
Uh-huh.
And as I recall, it was in, Nashville, Tennessee.
It was. Memorial Coliseum, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah.
And we had the Georgia Bulldogs on the road taking on a Vanderbilt Commodore team that was laying 9.5 in that game last night. And if my math proves me correct, Vanderbilt 88, Georgia 80. Let me just carry that. Yeah, Georgia covers the spread. Huh. How about that?
Bingo.
Yeah. So, should I say another Daily Dog winner for you listeners and viewers out there?
And for those of you who's throwing your packets of maple syrup at the screen going, yeah, but look, I mean, that was barely, come on, you know.
Yeah, okay.
You know, you're throwing the top of your sausage biscuit at the screen.
Yeah, barely. When you go to cash that ticket, they don't say barely.
Yeah, you either do or you don't. You either are or you're not.
It's kind of barely like when I was in school and it was a pass-fail course. Hey, you either pass or you fail.
Don't, Mr. Longshore, do you want to know how many you got right and how many you got wrong? No. What would I? Did I pass? Yeah, you did. But that's all I need to know.
All I need to know.
I want to know. I mean, Mr. Longshore, you passed by the skin of your. I don't care. The passed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good.
Always thought GPAs were overrated anyway. Hey, pass or fail. That's the big deal.
Well,
all right. So another winner. With Georgia covering the spread. I mean, okay, they lost the game. Hate it for them, but they did cover the spread, which is, during this segment, the most important. So let's go to tonight. Let's move on. What have you done for me lately? Limited card here, Barry, in terms of marquee matchups, so to speak. There are a lot of crap games tonight.
Thursdays are not a big college basketball.
And we looked at the NBAs we do every day just to, kind of look.
Oh, Rhode Island is a 2.5-point favorite over St. Bonaventure.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm looking tonight. Excuse me. I got a frog in my throat. Looking tonight at 7:00 on Peacock. Barry, what is Peacock?
That is the streaming service for NBC.
NBC. All right.
NBC.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you find Peacock. I'm not sure how that works.
It's an app. You go app.
Okay. All right. Okay. Maybe I'll dabble into it and see if I can find it. I'm actually scrolling right now.
He ain't going to do it, please.
But if you're interested, that's where you're going to go. It's Peacock, 7:00. So here's the deal, Barry. Michigan State at Purdue.
Yes.
Now I'm looking at this game, Barry, and I'm looking at the standings in the Big Ten. Michigan State, 12-4 in the league, 22-5 overall.
Yeah.
Purdue, 12-4 in the league, 22-5 overall. I'm
so,
thinking,
pretty evenly matched, right?
Pretty evenly matched, exactly. So I'm thinking, what's going on here? They are playing at Purdue. That is true. Don't you got to factor that in, no doubt about it. They are playing at Purdue. And
Arena, yep.
Yeah, and I'm looking here, Barry. Michigan State is an 8-point underdog. I'm catching 8 points on the road at Purdue, and both these teams have the same record in league and overall.
That 8 points is flashing red at John over and over and over again with that Dr. No laboratory horn. Honk, 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 honk. He can't ignore it.
Yeah, I'm going, somebody must be hurt for Michigan State.
Girlfriend broke up with the leading scorer.
And I get it. The line opened at 5.5. It's gone to 8. Something's happening here. Something's up. But I ain't buying it. Not buying it. They're not fooling me. I'm taking the 8 and Michigan State. Okay, like last night, they might not win the game, as Georgia did not win but covered. I'm thinking the same scenario plays out here in Eastland. Where's Purdue located again?
West Lafayette, Indiana.
West Lafayette. I knew I had a direction. I was about to say East something. West Lafayette. I got them. Michigan State's in East Lansing. So we got East versus West tonight.
This is John's version of bragging on his knowledge here. I know one of them's in East something and one of them's in West. Hey, look at me. I'm on it. So,
Barry, what do you say we bring in our man Bart Hush, college basketball insider on Mississippi State's Final Four team? I saw him kind of shaking his head a little bit. What do you think about Michigan State at Purdue tonight, Bart?
It's too many.
Oh, too many.
2 minutes. That's all I needed to hear.
It's too many. And you're probably going to have to sweat it.
Oh, yeah.
The line's moving that much. There's going to be 2 or 3 free
Could
throws.
this be maybe a late tip in at the buzzer to get under the number? Maybe
somebody's going to be feeling real good with about 45 seconds to go in this game. hopefully it's not you. Because if it's not you, then you've probably got a good shot at a backdoor 3.
Yeah.
Well, Bart, I've always said, both on and off the court, you were a little bit ahead of your time. Last night, in the Mississippi State short trip to Tuscaloosa, Alabama wins it by 25. They score 100, and if you hang on to your ticket stub from Coleman Coliseum, you get free gooey fries from Baumhauer's. They shot 91 three-pointers in that game, and I thought, golly, if Hush had been able to play in games like that at Mississippi State, I'm telling you, he may go Betty Occo, and he may apply for extra years every year.
If they passing out shots like that, I may go see if I can't. I've got to have a year left.
Yeah,
something with the way things are going. Now,
the academics might be shaky, but
I can't play on both ends now. I could play maybe a couple possessions for Richie Riley in that zone.
Yeah.
But I don't. Defensively would be a problem. But yeah, man. I mean, the problem is one of those teams shooting the basketball can shoot. Now that kind of
it's like Longshore. John was always a shooter, but he wasn't always a maker.
Are you a maker? But here's the deal, and I have a very, very, very close alumni that actually was with a certain fan of the show's son.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So they're behind but I just, the energy's not there. There's yapping on the bench. I mean, there's just the culture's not great in Starkville, but Chris Chance has never beaten Nate Oates, and that's like 12 out of 13. My good friend Hunter Johnson he's astonished. Not necessarily that we've fallen as quickly, and have a team that's not very good, but that this rivalry has fallen. And I attribute a lot of that to just Alabama's success, especially in recruiting. We're not recruiting the same players Alabama is anymore, like we used to with Mario Austin's, right? Like we used to with Antonio McDyce's, Russell Walters, those names from back, James Robinson,
Hollywood.
Darrell Wilson, Bart Hush, these people that came out and made significant contributions. Those guys way more so than me, but we're not in the same rooms with Alabama. So the talent gap's there. Well, then the systems analytics gap. Nate Oates' system eats Chris Jans alive. Whatever it is that Jans is trying to do, whether it's throwing the post, whether it's keep up scoring. Like, I remember we used to throw it down there to Tolu all those times that first night, John, when he went like 2 for 10. We just kept throwing it in there. And that was when Nate Oates used a coaching point to teach Grant Nelson. We talked to him on this show about it, to be a one-on-one defender. But Nate also knew that all them twos and all them 57% free throw line attempts were not going to equal the threes that he can make if he shot a lot of them. Period.
That's just math.
Analytics. It's math. And in this situationship that it's turned out to be with Alabama and Mississippi State basketball, the numbers just don't work for State. And guys, Alabama's good. And they did that without fouling last night. And I'm just, they're gonna be knocking on somebody's door come around Sweet 16 final 8 time.
Oh, wow.
I agree. Definitely
interesting.
Hey, Jay Billis got on the train last weekend too, Barry. Did you see that?
I did. And
I was like sitting there. I said, who's he gonna say? And I said, come on, make old Heights Hoops look at least a little bit smart, whether it's true or not.
Exactly. We talked about it earlier. Bama's big man, Adrian Sherrill, stepped up his game. And I've always thought that this Bediako thing was to give him another presence in the paint. That's over and done with. Can he last through a tournament? Because I don't see anybody behind him even close.
According to who you playing.
Yeah. It's always matchups.
Well, it's matchups, but no, I'm not taking anything away from him. But has he done this against teams with multiple bigs?
Okay.
And he's played, man, I'm not, when he steps out, that's a whole different dynamic. It opens up offensive rebounded. It opens up dribble drive pitches. It opens up a lot of things. But my point is, we also talked about now, and I'm all over Alabama, but that schedule's pretty favorable coming down the stretch, especially who they're playing interior. There's no Missouri, right? There's no Florida. There's no Tennessee. There's none of those teams that have all these bigs that, like, that's who's going to be in the final 8. Those teams that have all those bigs, maybe minus 1 or 2 upsets. And can he, John? Yeah, because of the way Alabama plays. Because here's what you got to think. Can he last? Those bigs have got to come out and guard him as long as he's making shots.
Mm-hmm.
That gets them tired. The only issue is Alabama just don't have enough of them. And if he ever gets in foul trouble, it's great. Yeah. Alabama can go small, like at times when it's great when you can go small. But he's got to stay on the floor. I don't know if you can accept the same level like the last 3 games, but I mean, just a little drop off is still pretty dang good.
Well, on the other side, we learned something from Auburn's win over Kentucky. We learned that you can still get fined with the SEC, even if you're not directly in front of the microphone. You can only be within earshot.
That was a rookie move, dude. He got double hit by that. He didn't get to say what he wanted to say, and he got fined, bro.
For
that's like losing it on the hook on the last free throw, John. Oh, Michigan State about.
You know, you thought you got it, you thought you got away with it, and then all of a sudden at the very end, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to ding you for $5,000 out there. But we thought in that game as well, Auburn beating Kentucky on the last second shot and the controversy and blah, 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 that Auburn may have turned a corner. Bart, it turns out they didn't, because they walked against Oklahoma, and now they're back at square one, right?
Not a fan of them. Haven't been. I liked the run when they went big. Took 4 or 5 games for people to figure it out. There's good coaches in this league. Yeah. It's not there for me. As far as the call goes, I kind of see both sides of it. I love what Overton did to try to draw the foul.
Right.
You got to do that in that situation.
Yes,
it's a Bart Hush special, Reggie Miller special. But I also don't have any problem with what Chandler did. Now, what I do have a problem with is how you immediately turn to your coach and be like, you did do something, bro. You did extend your arm. Don't look at Pope like it's going to be okay whether you did it or didn't. Mm-hmm. That makes you look guilty.
Yep.
Look at the referee. Don't look at the coach. Don't look at him. So, like, I'm actually Steve Wilmer. You remember old big Jolly Ref that pulled his pants up? We called him Jolly Ref. Big redheaded dude. Steve Wilmer. He'd always pull his pants up. Mr. Heitch, right here, Mr. Heitch. Bro, he almost threw me out the game in Hawaii because that exact thing happened against the All-American high jumper. Wagner was his name. And that dude just ran over me and threw me down. And they called a foul on me.
Oh.
And I'm just like, and it's the only time I ever fouled out of a college game. So that game kind of brought back memories. I'm not buying Auburn. I'm not buying Kentucky. I think Auburn gets in to the tournament as long as they don't have a complete collapse. There's a couple of games, and they got to win one of these games. The last two, I think they'll win one at home. Maybe split. I think they can get in with 7 and 9.
Yeah, they got Ole Miss and LSU. Then they go to Tuscaloosa.
If they get now, they don't need to lose either one of them at home.
They don't.
No.
I mean, if they lose one of them at home, this is a whole different animal. Assuming Auburn wins both, I don't necessarily think they even have to win one in the tournament. I think that's kind of a cancel out if they do lose one going in. Their wins are really good. The Florida win, the Kentucky win, they got a couple more. The wins will get them there. But guys, I don't see it for Kentucky on the inside. I don't. I think they're okay on the perimeter. I think they can score with you, but it's a lack of. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this really, but it's just a lack of toughness and girth for them. That I don't think they've got enough guys. I think they are one guard away. They need low. Those guys are having to play too many minutes. But if the freshman steps up, the freshman left-handed guard, he's a guy that could step up and give you amazing minutes. I mean, they could get in and win a game, something like that. But I haven't bought them all year.
Bart, you mentioned about Mississippi State. Correct me because I can't remember all the adjectives that you use, but chemistry and maybe a little culture. A lot of things describing that team. Is that going on at Auburn as well? I mean, are things hunky dory on that bench?
No, and that was a point. It's not. What does Stephen A. like to say? It's not fluid. Yeah. It's fluid at Alabama right now, and it really don't matter who's playing, who's hurt, who's not, who's getting the shots. That's the issue I think that's happening is who's getting shots at a lot of places. And the distribution of just think about how much attention Keyshawn Hall demands the ball, and that's Pettiford that's used to that. And I don't know anything. I'm not saying you can just tell by body language. You can tell by possessions, and you can tell by timeouts. Look at how engaged teams are in their timeouts. And when guys come off the floor against the bench. Last night, Barry, you'll appreciate this because you know these people. Well, I know you know a couple of them. Congratulations on your Sun Belt championship winning game because ULM's bad.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
South Alabama won that last night by 45.
It was 42-14. The half. Now. They had 9 points. ULM did with a minute and a half to go in the half. But here's the thing. Phil Cunningham, who was at Troy.
Yes.
He on that bench. They're down 25 with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Derek Zimmerman played at Mississippi State, who was an assistant at Louisiana, now is with Phil. Frank Miskelly, good friend of mine, Oscar Miskelly, State Booster's son, on that staff. Over there just talking the defense through what South was running, through the scout. Just still engaged. Coaches still, guys on the bench pointing, talking, still trying to. That's the stuff you look at. Communication, what does the bench look like?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that in Auburn. I don't see that in Starkville.
Well, say what you want about Keyshawn Hall, but with the ball in his hand, he's pretty darn good. When the ball
I have no problem with it.
When the ball is not in his hand, he needs the ball in his hand to make any contribution whatsoever.
I knew a player like that.
The plus minus, if he doesn't have that ball in his hand, is going way down. Way down, like when John Longshore jumps on you in a boxing one at the
that's right
Bell Road Y.
That's right. Or the West End Boys Club, and I used to box up Doc Artie over there and hit a 3 on him.
Doc Artie. I'm having dinner with Doc Artie Sunday night.
Awesome. Yeah, that means the wallet's coming out.
Yeah, make him pay.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Man, I wonder if he'll come in. He come in his polo uniform? You think, or
he'll be yucking it up.
Fresh in
from taking his horses. Yeah,
you count on it.
Yeah, I'm saying that wallet's coming out, and there's going to be moths coming out of that pocket.
Will you be in Birmingham next week for the high school tournament?
Man, I am. You see, I'm here at the beach. I've got everything packed up. I've got one more interview this morning. I'm getting in my beautiful new truck and headed north to show everybody how beautiful it is. But we've got the Sylacauga pregame show tonight.
Yeah.
Kevin Skarbinski and I will tape that. And Saturday morning, it will be on WOTM, and it will literally run all week when the games are not on. But it'll also be online. And I'm telling you, man, Barry, John, that selection show is as fun as anything I do. And Barry McKnight,
yes,
you talk about research, my friend.
Look at you.
Hey, bro, this is every team that's going. This is every team scouting report.
Nice.
1A through 7A, boys and girls. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
White Hoops headed north.
There you go.
We got a couple of schools from Montgomery heading up there, Bart. So keep an eye on them. Catholic
and I'm gonna tell you something. What's that?
Catholic girls and MA boys.
I think MA boys maybe a piece less than last year. A-Rant's done a great job. They could repeat, and I really like that Catholic team. The 4A girls may be one of the most competitive. I think you're going to see an excellent game at some point. I don't know if it's first or not between Catholic and Good Hope for the title.
Hey, 5A, Charles Henderson down in Troy, Coach Scott Campbell, Kobe Campbell, Cooper Campbell, their sister Kaya. She's averaging 33 a game.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's their man. I'm watching film the other day, and I see her getting buckets. They're on a collision course. It's going to be them in Guntersville. But I'm going to tell you that Moody team's really good that they're going to play.
Yep.
And that game, Guntersville won't have a problem with Broward Christian, I don't think. Guntersville guys, legitimate maybe. How about this, John Longshore? I could see possible, I want to say 2. 1 probably for sure WNBA player on the Guntersville team.
Hey.
Whoa.
Wow.
How
Big
about
word.
that?
Bart Hush, B Hush 22,
Yes,
Hush
that's
Hoops
right.
looking for you in the tournament. Good to see you last week, and we'll talk with you again soon.
Hey, good luck, Barry. I won't see you for the Sun Belt tournament, man, but it's always good to see you like last week. Thanks, John.
We'll talk next week. Thank you, buddy. Bart Hush, our resident college basketball insider. He'll be doing some high school work up in Birmingham next week. Check him out.
And we'll be doing some work on the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel next on Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years. And heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The President's Day sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokees under 27 grand or up to 15 grand off. Wranglers, 14 grand off. And Gladiators, 16 grand off. Only at Stivers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.
Love is in the air, and so is your chance to win during Victoryland Casino's BMW and 25K giveaway. Drive away in a brand new BMW or win your share of $25,000 in free play. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Stop by the Players Club and fall in love with this month's exciting free play promotions. There's more ways to win at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Located off I-85 exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings February 27th and 28th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
All right, I see the wheel in the green room warming up for us here today. It's the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. Gurn Jr. puts this together. We don't know what these topics are. We're seeing them for the first time, just as you are.
We do know that there's a big drawing coming up at Victoryland 777 Casinos.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's going on? Is this cool moment?
Cool moment.
Cool moment. What can this be?
Unlike a cool change from Little River Band.
Oh, yeah. I've been to the place, Prudential Center. I broadcast a game from Newark.
Wow. Look at this.
Jack Hughes, who plays for the New Jersey Devils. John, that's an NHL team. They're playing the Sabres. Very cool moment. Jack Hughes on the right scored the goal to win the gold medal and gets a standing ovation and Jack Hughes. I wonder if his teeth are okay. Yeah.
Speaking of Doc NBA, maybe he can go see him.
Yeah. He joked about his missing tooth. He said I've got a couple of half teeth. I dated a girl in college.
Really?
I was like, some of those girls that are all gums and just you girls.
Yeah, we called him Gummy.
I wasn't that insensitive, but that was a long time ago. Maybe
like
the
character.
advances in dentistry.
Hey, you going out with Gummy this week? Oh, nice.
She's a nice girl. Stop. She's plenty of personality.
Let's go with Give It Back. Give It Back.
Hey, give it back.
Yes, give it back. Let's see what we got here.
Are we talking about Alabama's vacated wins? Yeah. Brendan Sorsby was the number 1 rated transfer quarterback in the portal from Cincinnati, and he went to Texas Tech because they gave him a ton of money. Cincinnati has now sued him, alleging that he breached his NIL contract with the Bearcats. There's an exit fee for some of those guys, just like there's an exit fee for a coach who breaks a contract. It's the same deal, except the difference is that the coach is a university employee and the student athlete is not a university employee, but it's still a contract, John. Even though he was contracted for another year with the Bearcats, he was committed and contracted to play for 2 years at Cincinnati, and he only played for 1 and then took the money from Texas A&M.
Yeah.
It's a bad look all the way around.
Bad look.
Yeah, you're trying to sue a former player. That'll go a long way towards deciding whether or not some of those contracts are enforceable with, okay, so they're paying me a lot more. I should be able to go anytime I want to.
Heck yeah.
Oh, well.
All right.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Transfer NIL. Kind of crazy. All right, 4 more to go. Red, yellow,
that's John's input into that one. NIL transfer portal, kind of crazy. Love it from John. Insight.
Time to go. It's the blue. It's the green.
Please don't say. Oh yeah, Kyler Murray, former number 1 quarterback, number 1 pick, former Heisman Trophy winner. He's been injured with the Cardinals. The Cardinals stink. He's 20. Is he 28? Yeah, 28. And he is in the free agent market. There's a couple of big free agents. Mac Jones is one. Kyler Murray is one.
You think the 49ers are going to retain Mac Jones? They say they want to keep him.
Yeah, of course they do. He's a good player, but he wants to start somewhere, and I think he can. Arizona, they figure he's not the same player he was when he tore his ACL in 2022. They've had some questions about his work ethic. Does he watch enough film? I think it's, when you see stuff like that, that means the bell is sounding, John. That means
it is. I'm with you there. Kyler Murray. I think his best days are behind him.
And again, what are the Cardinals doing? I mean, they're not doing anything to help out the situation.
Right. Red, blue, yellow. I'm going to take a stab here and say we're going to end up with red and blue, but let's see what comes first.
All smiles.
Excuse me. All smiles.
Wow, that was a big one.
That was a big one.
Jonathan Kuminga had been with the Golden State Warriors. Debuted with the Hawks. Let's see. What does he do? Nice.
Is that defense, Barry? I just saw it. Was that?
He put his hand out. That kind of.
That guy for the Golden State. Who were they playing in that game?
They were playing the Wizards. Yeah, 27.
Goes to show you the Wizards are maybe the worst team in the league.
Well, the Warriors kind of didn't. They just got sour on Jonathan Kuminga, and he didn't play much under Steve Kerr, who didn't really like him. So they get Kuminga and Buddy Hield, who I always liked. He's from Oklahoma.
Buddy Hield? That does not sound like an NBA player's name.
Oh, he's a great shooter.
Buddy Hield.
I don't know that he's going to carry the team or anything like that. So there is that. Congratulations, Jonathan Kuminga. It's all about the situation you're in.
It
I
is.
think he's in a much better
tell this,
situation.
Buddy's got to hang tough. That's just all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Yeah, Buddy's got to hang tough. He'll never be over Macho Grande, but he's got to hang tough. All right, let's spin away. Told you, blue and red. Look at that. Blue and reds left on the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. It's going to land on red.
Getting serious? Oh, you're meeting her parents.
I think it's too soon to get serious.
Jason Caldwell talked about this briefly. There is legislation out amongst the NCAA, and I'm talking about NCAA Oversight Committee, but also Division II, Division III, also having a thought about this, where teams that they'll tamper. It's the anti-tampering thing, especially after Pete Golding and what he did to Clemson, and Dabo is blowing the whistle on him. They are multi-million-dollar fines for coaches who tamper, loss of recruiting privileges, like until week 6 of the season. John, there is no way. I mean, Gurn has it pulled up right here. They would be fined 20% of its football budget. That's what Jason Caldwell wants to know. Their budget or their budget, because some of that stuff's not on the books, John. You know that.
Heck no.
There's no way that this is going to pass. Absolutely. Everybody wants it to pass, but nobody wants – they want it to pass against the other schools. They don't want it to pass, to where we've got to toe the line.
That's right. Remember Jimmy and Goodfellas? Don't put anything on the books.
That's right.
All right, last one. What we got here? Got to spin it to make it official.
Played last year for Duke. He's having a really good year for the Charlotte Hornets.
See?
He was only 1 year. He was the number 2 freshman in the country, maybe. I'm the number 2 freshman on his team behind the guy who ended up going to Cooper Flagg, who ended up going to the Mavericks. He's 6'6", but he's a really good shooter. 58 games, 200 3-pointers. You do the math, and that's a little bit less than 4 3-pointers a game.
I told you to watch out for the Hornets, Barry. They won 7 of their last 10. They're inching their way up the standings in the Eastern Conference.
They have done it slowly and deliberately. They are a good team. They're talented. They're very young.
They are very young.
That's not a bad thing, John.
Yeah,
They've got
very
great futures, all of them.
All right, Barry, tomorrow we're at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Prattville. I think Josh Harris is going to hop on for a minute. Of course, he's got some traveling to do.
He's not expecting or anything, is he? I mean, I
don't believe so.
All right, okay.
So I think he's good to
go. All right.
Our man Ralph Michaels from Wager Talking the Gold Sheet going to talk some round ball with Ralph tomorrow.
Yeah.
We got a lot of other things like the Tennessee starting 5. We'll go over that tomorrow as well.
Yes. Our thanks to Rodney Orr, Tider Insider, brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Market, and Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.